Hello, my name is Alex Stoeber, and in this video we are going to look at real estate market data for quarter 3 of 2021. We are going to compare and contrast this quarter to the ones before it, and we're also going to look at how 2021 is shaping up to compare to 2020 as well, so that you can get a good idea of where we are and where we are potentially going in the future. We're going to look at national data and Santa Barbara real estate data. But before we get into that, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications when I make videos in the future. Let's get into it. So what we need to know is that price drops actually across the United States have been increasing. So you'll see that over this year, from summer here all the way up into right here in fall, we have seen more price drops when compared to last year. We saw price drops plummet last year here, and now, back in June, we saw us kind of intersect with 2020, and then that's when we started to say, hey, this is an inflection point. Are we going to see more prices dropping in the future? Well, we did. And now we are up to about a 5% price reduction across the United States. Our months of supply has stabilized. So our months of supply really got eaten up by carnivorous buyers coming in, getting great investments and great deals at that time. And I wish I purchased some properties back in 2020, right? Everyone does. And the people who did, they took a risk, and look at what happened. All of these homes just became eaten up, and now there's really, really low supply. Well, now we have actually stabilized, and we've actually started to come up in months of supply, in weeks of supply. So that is a good sign for a healthy market that's getting a little bit more availability and inventory coming on the market. Our new listing median price is way up, and yet it has plateaued now. So, it had this little jump from August up to pretty much October, and then it kind of stabilized a little bit, and now we're just testing how things are going there. But you saw a price drop. So, just because the new listing median price has gone up doesn't mean necessarily that the prices have been closing higher. We should look at homes sold, and you'll see that we're pretty much right in line with where we were last year with homes sold. That's a good indication of sales activity. And pending sales across the United States are pretty much right in line with where we were last year as well, except we had way more sales earlier in this year under contract than we did last year. Obviously, this dip it took quite a bite out of purchasing and everything. So now we're kind of following the seasons and going up for summer, and then kind of pittering back down, and then we'll see a similar cycle probably next year as well. Our new listings on market, we are dropping down below 2020 levels when it comes to new listings. So inventory is tight still, and that is pushing appreciation higher and higher, which is something to look at for sure. So overall, what you should know is that sales activity is down, less listings coming on the market, but our price drops are something to definitely watch as we're moving forward, because this is, this is an interesting graph to see, right? Anyone can look at this and really be curious about how much. It can either go down or it can go back up. That's 50-50 chance. That's what it does in every graph, right? But I'm seeing that according to this trend in this S curve, if we continue to see lower sales activity, lower buyer demand, then that could potentially result in us seeing lower prices. Let's speak about prices a little bit, and let's bring it over to Santa Barbara as well. So let's get a little bit more hyper local here. So pricing wise, what we're seeing is this like noodle going on. We have this wave going on, and prices are actually coming up compared to a couple months ago. So back in September, we had an average price of $2,529,000 in Santa Barbara, and the median in September of last year was, or of this year, sorry, was 1.8 million. So now we're coming up to a little bit over 1.9 million. That's definitely an increase, and we're seeing that we're above 3 million on the average as well. However, we are down when compared to quarter one of this year. So, January, 2.8 million average, or 2.8 million in January. February is 2.7 million. And then we had this huge month, almost $4 million average in Santa Barbara. So that average was 3,250,000. And now we're down to about, between these 3 months, we're at about 2,900,000. So that's a considerable drop, and it doesn't look like we have a graph that is on an uptrend. So that's something to watch in the future. This could be a turnaround, and we could see an uptrend. But overall, we have lower highs here. We have a higher high here in the middle of the year, but then we got this really mellow line, and we haven't been testing that $2 million mark. Now we're there, 1,930,000, but I would really say we want to watch for November statistics to come out for us to really figure out where that pricing is going. And then the monthly new listings way down, and it's really in line with, even lower than 2020 of last year in Santa Barbara. So that could be a big reason why we're seeing that price pop there. And that also shows that our inventory is scarce, and with a monthly closed, we have way less closed than we did last year. So that could show, that could be an indicator of buyer activity, buyer confidence in the market. We're seeing lower price changes, far lower price changes. There's less price discovery now in this market. We're pretty sure we have better comps now to determine what these prices could be, and the sellers are much more reasonable now, or just not wanting to sell. That's definitely a thing going on. We have a lot of sellers who are not interested in selling right now. So pended sales, they do look like we have an upward trend there in buyer activity, but it's still much, much lower than last year. There are less buyers putting homes under contract, and that can be an indicator for why we're not seeing, continued appreciation like we did in Q1. Those numbers were just massive, and it's not just because we had huge sales. Like the median price was also higher in Q1 as well. The back on markets are much lower, so we're just not seeing as much buyer remorse in the market as well from buyers, which is good. I like to see confident buyers who are confident about what's going on, and this trend shows that there are backup buyers in place for these homes. And then monthly coming soon, we are seeing a little bit more of that, but overall, now people are just kind of getting homes ready for the market and doing these big launches that are getting 15 offers. I just sold 5730 Berkeley Road in Goleta, and it got 16 offers. It got 16 offers and went $277,000 over the asking price, and it sold in 10 days, closed in 18. So that was big. That was really big. What we should look at as well is the mortgage purchase application numbers. So right now we are seeing consolidation for the mortgage purchase application numbers. So that could mean that buyer demand has definitely dropped from the beginning of this year. That's when the peak was, right? That's when we had the highest amount of average sales price and median sales price, and now this is really indicative of perhaps where the buyer demand is going currently. Housing starts have definitely like took off from last year, but now, since September, we haven't really got numbers updated for that. But you can kind of see that they did not shoot up as soon as lumber prices came back a little bit. So lumber prices aren't where they were back in the peak, May 2021. We are down, looks like $600 per thousand board feet. So looks like a pretty healthy number now. It's not at the bottom, it's not at the top, but it's closer to the bottom than it's at the top. So that's what I have for you today. Monthly average and median sales price are up, and we are seeing lower highs, and we're also seeing just our median sales price is staying below $2 million in Santa Barbara. If you have any questions about any of this, please reach out. I would love to talk to you about what's going on in the market, and I'm looking forward to bringing you more content in the future. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon. Peace out.